Okay, dear students, once again I am in front of you to teach you the one more type of reactions. Four type of reactions you have already studied. Now today we are going to study oxidation and reduction reaction, which has got another name, that is the redox reaction. So whenever the oxidation reaction takes place simultaneously at the same time in the same reaction, then this oxidation and reduction reaction takes place are known as redox reaction. And in fact, it is a reality that oxidation and reduction reaction takes place simultaneously in the same reaction. Never oxidation and reduction reaction takes place alone. It won't be taking place alone. Wherever oxidation is there, there must be reduction reaction. So oxidation and reductions will take place in the same reaction at the same time. It is not possible to have a separate oxidation and reduction reaction. So that is why the name is given oxidation reduction as a redox reaction. So now we'll understand what is oxidation reaction first. Oxidation reaction. So first of all, this is addition of oxygen. That means percentage of oxygen will increase. Addition of oxygen to a substance. That means the concentration of oxygen or the percentage of oxygen in a particular compound will increase. That is called oxidation. Removal of hydrogen from a substance. That means concentration of hydrogen or the amount of hydrogen from a particular substance will decrease. So that is why either removal of hydrogen or addition of oxygen, both are known as oxidation. So remember definition: any phenomenon out of these two, either the removal of hydrogen or addition of oxygen, these two processes will take place. If out of these two processes any one process can take place, and then you decide it is an oxidation reaction. So if you see that there is a removal of hydrogen or addition of oxygen, then you understand it is a oxidation process of oxidation. It is oxidation reaction. Now the another, that is the reduction reaction. So reduction reaction is just opposite of oxidation. You have understood the oxidation, then you will immediately understand the reduction. What is reduction? Reduction is just the opposite of oxidation reaction. So now we'll think about the opposite of the oxidation. In oxidation reaction, what is happening? Removal of hydrogen. So in reduction, there will be addition of hydrogen. Now see, in oxidation, there is addition of oxygen. So in reduction, it must be removal of oxygen. So just opposite of the oxidation will take place in the reduction. So now addition of hydrogen means percentage of hydrogen is increasing, concentration of hydrogen is increasing, as well as the same way there is a removal of oxygen, means percentage of oxygen is decreasing, the amount of oxygen is decreasing. If the process like addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen is taking place, then the such reactions, such process are known as reduction reaction. And for all the practical purpose, if you take any chemical reaction, you will find if there is a removal of hydrogen, then there will be addition of hydrogen. If you look into the chemical reaction, you will find if there is a removal of hydrogen, then in the same reaction there will be addition of hydrogen. So removal of hydrogen and addition of hydrogen both will take place in the same reaction. So that is why the oxidation and reduction both will take place. Again, if you observe there is a addition of oxygen, in the same reaction you will observe the removal of oxygen. So addition of oxygen and removal of oxygen both will take place in the same reaction. So that is why the oxidation and reduction will take place in the same reaction simultaneously. Okay. Now another way you can look at it. If there is a removal of hydrogen, if no other agents are there that can take up the hydrogen, then what is the use of removal? So that is why if there is a removal of hydrogen, there must be some other agent which takes up the hydrogen. then only reaction will facilitated. Like जैसे हम किसी को दान देते हैं और वो सामने वाला दान ले ही नहीं, तो फिर हमारा दान कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ। तो अगर हम दान दे रहे हैं तो दान लेने वाला भी होना चाहिए। अगर हम दान दे रहे हैं और दान लेने वाला नहीं है तो अब ये प्रोसेस इनकम्प्लीट हुआ, फिर से वापस हमारा धन हमारे पास ही आएगा, तो दान नहीं हुआ। और दान लेने वाला सामने खड़ा है लेकिन दान देने के लिए कोई तैयार नहीं है, तो वो प्रोसेस भी इनकम्प्लीट हुआ, क्योंकि दान लेने वाला खड़ा है उसको दान दे नहीं रहे। जब तक दान लेने वाला और देने वाला सामने सामने ना हो, एक दान दे रहा हो दूसरा दान ले रहा हो, जब तक ये प्रोसेस कंप्लीट नहीं होता है तब तक दान की प्रक्रिया कंप्लीट नहीं होती है। इन द सेम वे, whenever there is a removal of hydrogen, there is a addition of hydrogen. So whenever there is a addition of oxygen, in the same reaction there will be removal of oxygen. So it definitely it is going to take place simultaneously. That is why the oxidation reaction and reduction reaction are known as redox reaction, because it takes place simultaneously at the same time in the same reaction. So now we have understood this definition, what is oxidation and what is reduction. Now we will decide what is oxidizing agent and reducing agent. Oxidizing agent, you know the LIC agent. Agents are those type of agents are those which carry out the work for others, like a LIC agent. They do the LIC policy for others, not for him only. He is not doing LIC policy for himself, but he is doing LIC policy for others. So that's why they are agents. If you want some houses on the rent, there will be agent which will bring you some notification about the rented house, and you will get it from that. So he is arranging the room for you. So he is the agent, because he is arranging that. They are known as brokers. They are known as broker, they are agent. So in the same way, oxidation is taking place. So there must be something which can carry out the oxidation. For oxidation, what we need? We need removal of hydrogen. So those substances which can remove the hydrogen would be known as oxidizing agent. And what is needed for another way in oxidation? Addition of oxygen. So percentage of oxygen will increase. So if a particular chemical which can supply the oxygen, then that would be known as oxidizing agent. So what is oxidizing agent? The substance which gives the oxygen. Which gives the oxygen. The substance which gives the oxygen. So that means substance will facilitate the addition of oxygen. That is why those substances are known as oxidizing agent. Second thing, there is a removal of hydrogen. That means for oxidation, removal of hydrogen should be there. So any substance which can remove the hydrogen from a particular substance, then it will be known as oxidizing agent. So any substance which gives the oxygen or removes the hydrogen is called oxidizing agent. Now we will look at the reducing agent. So reducing agent, that means which will bring about the reduction. For reduction, what we need? Addition of hydrogen. For reduction, what we need? Addition of hydrogen. So any agent which will bring about the addition of hydrogen are known as reducing agent. So the substance which will supply the hydrogen, the substance which will provide you hydrogen, which will gives you hydrogen are known as reducing agent, because addition of hydrogen is needed in reduction. So any agent which gives you the hydrogen are known as reducing agent. Second thing, for reduction what is needed? Removal of oxygen. Removal of oxygen is known as reduction. For reduction, oxygen must be removed. So there must be agent which can remove the oxygen. So any substance which removes the oxygen are known as reducing agents. So any substance which removes oxygen are known as reducing agent, as well any substance which gives you the hydrogen are known as reducing agent. So now we have understood what is oxidizing agent, reducing agent, oxidation and reduction. Now I will clarify everything with the help of one example. Now here I have given the example reaction between copper oxide and hydrogen. This is the reaction between copper oxide and this is copper oxide, this is hydrogen. When it is heated together, it gives us copper and water. What it gives us? It gives us copper and water. Now in this case, what is happening? Now see, it is copper oxide. So what it is here? There is a copper as well as oxygen in this compound. Now see, on the right hand side of the chemical reaction or the products are written copper. Now it is one simply copper, no oxygen is here. Compare these two. So what is happening? There is a removal of oxygen. Here it is copper oxide. It is having oxygen. Now it is copper, no oxygen. So what is the process? That is the removal of oxygen. Removal of oxygen. Now see the definition. According to the definition, removal of oxygen is known as reduction. Removal of oxygen is known as reduction. Okay. So this is the process in which oxygen is removed. So which one got reduced? So copper oxide got reduced. The substance which got reduced, copper oxide. Copper oxide get reduced. This copper oxide got reduced because it loses oxygen. There is a removal of oxygen from copper oxide. So reduction process have taken place with the copper oxide. That's why copper oxide is reduced to copper. Copper oxide is reduced to copper. So which substance got reduced? Copper oxide. Which substance got reduced? Copper oxide in this reaction, because copper oxide loses oxygen. Removal of oxygen, process of oxidation. Now we'll compare this hydrogen and water. You always compare reactant and product. Don't compare between the reactant and reactant. Don't compare within the product and product. For oxidation, reduction, oxidizing agent, reducing agent, you always compare between the reactant and product. Never compare within the reactant or within the product. Always compare reactant and product. So when the hydrogen is a reactant, water is a product, you compare these two. What is happening? Here no oxygen with this hydrogen, but with this hydrogen here what is happening? Amount of oxygen increased. Earlier there was no oxygen, now it has got oxygen. There is an addition of oxygen. What is happening here? Addition of oxygen. So whenever addition of oxygen is taking place, that is known as oxidation. So oxidation have taken place with the hydrogen. That means hydrogen got oxidized. Which substance got oxidized? Hydrogen. Hydrogen got oxidized into water. Hydrogen got oxidized into water. So hydrogen got oxidized. Now we'll discuss the agent. See the definition and see. Copper oxide, it supplies the oxygen. It gives the oxygen. Which one is undergoing oxidation? Hydrogen. Hydrogen needs oxygen to get oxidized. Which supply the oxygen to this hydrogen? This copper oxide. This copper oxide has supplied the oxygen. This copper oxide has supplied the oxygen. So oxygen is supplied to this hydrogen. Who is supplying the oxygen? Copper oxide. Anything which supplies the oxygen are known as oxidizing agent. Because when it supplies the oxygen to hydrogen, then only this hydrogen undergoes oxidation. So anything which carry out the oxidation are known as oxidizing agent. So copper oxide is carrying out the oxidation of hydrogen because it supplies the oxygen, it gives the oxygen. That's why the copper oxide is oxidizing agent. Now, second way. This hydrogen takes up the oxygen. That means removes the hydrogen from copper oxide. Now this copper oxide is undergoing reduction. To take place reduction, this oxygen must be removed. This oxygen must be removed. Somebody else should be there which can remove this oxygen. And what hydrogen is doing? Hydrogen is removing the oxygen from this copper oxide. Hydrogen is removing the oxygen from this copper oxide. So hydrogen removing the hydrogen. Any substance which removes the hydrogen, remove the oxygen are known as reducing agent. So hydrogen removes the hydrogen removes the oxygen from this copper oxide. Hydrogen removes the oxygen from this copper oxide. That's why this hydrogen is nothing but reducing agent. So on the basis of oxygen, we have explained here that which one undergoing oxidation, which one is undergoing reduction, which one is the oxidizing agent, which one is the reducing agent. I think you might got clarification. We'll take another example also in another lecture, and I'll explain it further.